The War Between the Vowels and the Consonants by Priscilla Turner, with pictures by Whitney Turner. This presentation brought to you by Caydor, courtesy of adventuresinrandom.com. For as long as any letter could remember, vowels and consonants had been enemies. Never trust a vowel. The long and short of it is, they are sly, cunning, two-faced creatures. Some of the consonant parents would say to their children. Yes, sometimes they are silent, sometimes they are loud, and don't get me started on those blasted U's. And the vowel parents would warn their children not to go into consonant quarter, for who knows what those consonants may do to an unsuspecting vowel. Like turn them into curse words, or throw them out a window? My God, if they're doing that to their own children, I can't imagine what they do to other people's children. And that poor little E must have been through much, 'cause it's looking more like an I. Such a shame. And of course the vowels thought themselves superior, for there were fewer of them, so they must be elite, right? And thus they had to be better than the common consonants. And of course the consonants thought all vowels were sissy. Those silly vowel sounds. Ha ha ha. Ahs and oohs, what sort of noise is that for a letter to make? They of course prefer their own sounds, like right and sp, but I don't mind the oh sound myself, you know what I mean. Though I think the rules of bad puns say the X is at a disadvantage because he marks the spot. Ha ha ha. I know it's terrible, but I couldn't resist. And of course, they disliked and taunted one another. But one day a taunt was answered with a rock, the rock with a spear, the spear with a catapult, and the catapult with war! Though I do like the effect this page creates. Throughout this book, a lot of the two-page spreads will feel kinda wasted, but this one gives a nice contrast between the armies with the reds and the blues, and of course the consonants flag indicates that they can form many words without having the vowels, so they kind of see vowels as unnecessary. And of course the vowels can't necessarily form words, so all of their balloons and a few things across their army just have the A-E-I-O-U kind of stylized on it, which gives their army kind of a Greek Latin elite feel to it, which is nice. And of course the two sides plan for war, with the vowel admirals saying, "We'll hit them with our screeching sound, surely they'll have no defense against our eyes before ease." Then on the other side you have the consonants going, "Let those barnyard sounds try to stop the snarling gurs." Wait, they have guns? That just raises a lot of questions. For starters, why use both spears and guns? Since the guns clearly have bayonets on them, so they'd just be just as effective as the spears, but you'd have the benefit of being able to shoot as well. And the second question is the space part of their mask? Because their eyes are kind of attached to kind of a space, and the helmets and hats seem to be just kind of sitting there, so I think it's supposed to be, which would make spears and bullets make sense as weapons, but if they're not and they're just kind of Rayman-esque, then any kind of piercing weapon is going to be useless. You'd be better off with like slashing weapons, because you'd be able to swipe from the side. Though cannonballs would work, and catapults. But what about the wise? Well, they were a house divided. Some of them went and fought for the consonants, and some of them went and fought for the vowels, and some of them even became spies. And wise make perfect spies. No one ever knows where their loyalties lie. Are they Y's or are they A's? Or maybe they're simply E's after I's. And I love the creepy hobo letter at the bottom. "I'm watching you." And of course many of the wounded ended up at Red Cross stations. Oh, look at that poor M. He was almost blown to an N. And I wonder if that was originally a G, or he's just a C that's been impaled by an I. Wait. They're making the crosses X's, but on the last page they were Clearly the traditional T shapes that hospitals have. Look out! The consonants have double D's on their side. Of course the consonants and vowels fought on the land, by sea, and by air. Though I think the vowels may have an advantage because they don't seem to have the urge to form their letters on the battlefield. That almost gives the impression of the consonants being somewhat segregated. The creepy hobo letters watching them again. Oh god, my eyes! That is bright. I don't know why, but I like the shapes of the planes. The T for the consonants and that kind of double E shape for the vowels, though it seems I may have to take back what I said about the vowels having the advantage. They seem to feel the need to fly in giant A formations, though I suppose that might be slightly more practical than doing a C or whatever else. And I wonder if the guy in the middle is just kind of a scout who directs the others, or if he's just really good at not shooting that guy in the lead. But of course, the consonants and vowels were so busy fighting each other that they didn't see their doom approach in the distance. And what form did their destroyer take? The Stay Puft Man, maybe. Perhaps it's Granny Goodness again. Maybe it's the Garuda causing them tension. No, it's actually bad artwork! No, it seems this is Chaos in his early days. I assure you he gets a better form later on. And it has no eyes, but I'm pretty sure it's staring into my soul. I'm gonna move on before it tries to consume it. And of course, both armies stop fighting each other and start fighting the Scribble of Chaos, sending in attacks from both sides, but it seems it's to no avail. Noise? I'm not afraid of noise. Just try to stop me. And all but one letter panicked. The creepy hobo letter returns to save the day, whispering suggestions to both the army leaders, who send out a joint task force to stop the chaos. That sounds stupid when you say it out loud. And I understand this is a children's book, but it's hard to say it out loud without sounding foolish. Though I do love the expression across the various letters in the word stop. The O has his arms crossed like, we were really afraid of this guy. All it took was spelling. That's a worse weakness than kryptonite or wood. And of course the chaos can't stand up to this fearsome formation. Words, sentences, I can't fight that. Next they'll make paragraphs, pages, chapters, emo poetry slams. My god, I have to get out of here. And so the scribble slinked off, never to be seen again. And I do admit I enjoyed this spread, particularly because I must admit I almost always find alliteration appealing. And the two commanders of the armies meet in their tent later. Just think what we can accomplish together. The poems, the plays, our memoirs. Little did they know Chaos was plotting his revenge, which you can see implemented today in purposeful misspellings, bad grammar, horrible slang, nonsense lyrics, and worst of all, contractions, leet speak and their kin. For texting seeks to destroy our language and our words, who fought bravely to fend off chaos.